So what's the real difference between the wealthy and, well, everyone else? It can feel like this super complicated puzzle, right? A mix of investments, big salaries, maybe just a ton of luck. But what if it all boils down to just one single fundamental idea? One line of thinking? Well, in this explainer, we're going to find that line.
Okay, let's start with something that I think a lot of us have seen or maybe even felt. Have you ever known someone, or hey, maybe it's you, who makes a really good salary, great money, but they still feel completely broke? Like they're just treading water, living paycheck to paycheck, and that whole idea of financial freedom feels like it's a million miles away. How is that even possible?
From the time we're kids, most of us are taught to follow the exact same script, right? Go to a good school, get a good job, a high-paying job, and that big salary is going to make you rich. We're basically trained to climb that corporate ladder, always chasing the next bigger title and the next bigger paycheck.
But here's the thing, if that was the whole story, then every single person with a high income would be wealthy. And we know for a fact that's just not true. That feeling of being stuck, even when you're making good money, it's a huge clue that there's a really important piece of this puzzle missing. There's something else going on here, and it has surprisingly little to do with the size of your paycheck.
And this leads us right into something called the income trap. It's a classic. The goal is to get that high salary, right? But the outcome, well, it's often this vicious cycle where the more money you make, the more money you spend. That bigger paycheck leads to a bigger house, a fancier car, those more expensive vacations. Your whole lifestyle just inflates right along with your income. And the result? You never actually get ahead.
So if just earning more money isn't the answer, then what is? What's the secret? Well, that single line, the one thing that separates these two outcomes, it's not about the numbers. It's not about the dollar signs on your paycheck. It's all about where you put your focus. It's about the one question you're asking yourself day in and day out.
And here it is. This is the line that changes absolutely everything. The middle class focuses on earning income, while the wealthy focus on acquiring assets. Now listen, that's not just some catchy quote, it's a deep, fundamental shift in how you see the world. It completely redefines the entire game of building wealth. And just getting this difference, that's the first and most important step.
Okay, so what in the world is an asset, really? Let's break it down super simple. An asset is anything that puts money into your pocket, even when you're not actively working for it. Think of it like a little money-making machine, a system that generates value for you, so you're not the one who always has to be doing the work.
Yeah, this really lays out the two mindsets perfectly. Look, on one side, you have the high earner. Their main goal? Increase that salary. They're basically trading their time for money. And that path? Well, it keeps them completely dependent on their job. But then you have the asset owner. Their goal is totally different. They want to acquire assets. And when they do that, their money starts working for them. And that's the path to real freedom.
Okay, let's make this crystal clear with some real-world examples. Income. That's your salary, right? Your bonus, what you get paid per hour. The formula is simple. You work, you get paid. If you stop working, the money stops coming in. End of story. But assets are a whole different ballgame. We're talking about things like rental properties that bring in cash every month, or dividend stocks that literally pay you just for owning them, or maybe a business that you own that can run without you having to be there every single day. See the difference? They make money all on their own.
And this right here is probably the most important takeaway of all. This isn't about having millions of dollars to start. It's about a mental switch. It's about starting to think less like an employee and more like an owner, no matter what your income is right now. It's about completely changing your number one financial goal. And this just shows how simple that shift can be. It all boils down to changing the main question you ask yourself about money. You stop asking, how much more can I earn? And you start asking, what more can I own? Just changing that one question, well, it puts you on a completely different financial journey. It's a total paradigm shift.
Because when you really get down to it, focusing on assets means you're breaking free from that trap of just trading your limited time for money. Instead, you're building or buying or creating systems that generate value all by themselves. See, an asset isn't a one-time thing, it's an engine, and every single one you add is like another pillar holding up your financial freedom. It's another stream of income that doesn't care if you're clocking in or out, and that is the real game changer.
So, let's end this with a challenge for you. I want you to take a look at your own financial life, but through this new lens we've been talking about. Forget about your income for just a second and ask yourself this really simple but incredibly powerful question.
What in my life is truly an asset? What do I own that is actively working for me, that's putting money in my pocket while I sleep? Really think about it, because the answer, well, it might just change everything for you.